Right now, as I promised before the song there, you've got a copy of your book, and this is the fourth edition of the printing of this
Fourth
book.
edition of Beaver Dam Rocking Chair Marathon. I'm blessed to be the author of 30 books now. My work's been translated into 15 languages. I got 37 CDs out. I just keep on cranking them out. I'm inspired. I listen to those voices that come to me at 3 a.m. every morning, through the wind, through the cedar and pine. I pay attention to those voices, and so I'm blessed with the creative fire. I dwell in the realms of the creative imagination, and this book is based on an actual event in which I participated in Beaver Dam, Kentucky, in a rocking chair marathon. And I rocked for 89 hours and 55 minutes from Saturday morning to Wednesday morning, and it was quite a novel experience. Over 30 people were hauled away to the hospital, having had one kind of breakdown or another. I worked on this book for 29 years and went through many manifestations, got up to over 1,000 pages. I worked with Grove Atlantic, the chief editor in New York, for a long time. I finally figured out he wanted another version of Tobacco Road, and I wanted to show the complex nature of Kentucky, of Kentuckians, the terrible beauty of this place. Wherever I go, I preach the Kentucky gospel. It's in my soul. It's in my DNA. It's in my bones. I love Kentucky. So I just want to share with you this one piece. It's titled from the book, Music Saved My Life and Bob Dylan Saved My Soul, The Impossible Dream. Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me. We were a gospel quartet, Brad, Steve, Stan, and me, singing our hearts out, The Impossible Dream. Sunday morning service at the Centertown Baptist Church. After the preaching, and just as I am, Paige came up and smiled and said, "Boys, that was sure good." And she added, laughing real loud, and "Ronnie, you sure are animated." And then Sandra Carl chimed in with, "Yes, that was fine, but Ronnie, you were flat." And oh my, oh my, oh my, I went home swearing I'd never sing again, and I didn't until I got in the car, turned on the radio, and heard Bob Dylan singing like a Rolling Stone. How does it feel to be on your own, a complete unknown? And I caught myself breaking my promise, singing, "So what if I was flat as a pancake?" Music had saved my life more than once, and every time I listened to non-stop to Bob Dylan, well, ever since I was 12 years old, every time I heard him sing, I felt deep down inside he was saving my soul, helping me want to keep on keeping on no matter what the hell was going on. And I knew then, as I knew before and after, that I'd never quit listening to Bob Dylan, who I regard to this day as the best of them all, better than Homer, better than Shakespeare. His words, his songs helped me know I'd never abandon song. I'd never quit listening to the gift of God, sweet music. And even if I couldn't in public, at least in private, I'd keep on singing. And well, us boys, Brad, Steve, Stan, and me, well, I believe all our lives and souls were saved more than once by music, by Bob Dylan. And yes, we listened to every kind of music. We heard it all. Church music and funeral dirges, as Mama and her sister Jo Carolyn sang. Far back as I remember, I see people climbing on coffins, including Pappy, trying to keep Mammy from leaving him behind. Her line there in the pine. Yes, we heard gospel and blues, and we heard country mixed with traditional old-time folk, mountain Appalachian, going back to Ireland and Scotland and Wales. And we listened to Jimmy Rogers and Hank Williams and Bill Monroe and Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn and Woody Guthrie and Odetta and Gene Ritchie and Pete Seeger and the Everly Brothers and Merle Travis and Robert Johnson and Mose Rager and Granddaddy and Montgomery Brothers and Brother Matthews Gospel Quartet, with my third grade teacher, Mrs. Duncan, banging on that piano like I'd never heard in no Baptist church. And I got excited. Oh, Lord, can music make you feel this good? Brought tears to my boy eyes, made goosebumps run all up and down my back and all over my body, made my flat top hair stand up straight and tall without no butch wax on it. And then came Elvis and Johnny and Jerry Lee, and my parents said turn it off, but they were glued to and couldn't move. I staring in disbelief but excited. What in the world is this? And everybody felt that way, more excited than ashamed, wanting to be part of that energy that we all know must be a gift from some greater source. And for my generation, for me, Bob Dylan, yes, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, but Bob Dylan, from the first note old. I heard him perform late one night. I was 12 years old. In the attic where my brother and I slept, holes in the walls of our old farmhouse, wind whispering through cedar and pine. Through those holes, I saw plenty of ghosts there. But I also every night listened to 79 WLS on AM radio out of Chicago, and the sound went in and out depending on the weather. And Daddy, some nights he home from working double shifts at the coal mines, yelled up the stairs as the radio had gotten real loud, and Bob was singing, "How does it feel?" And being a poet who loves music as much as poetry, well, Bob's words, and I knew them all by heart, Bob's words saved my soul. Growing up in the pioneer lands of Kentucky where bluegrass was birthed, distant cousin of the Everly Brothers, I grew up with music, and I mean every kind of music, but the poem music that has sustained us, has sustained me all these years, that has always and continues to save my soul, to save me from death in life, is the master Bob Dylan's music, which always directed me towards God as if music came from God. And every time I turned to Bob Dylan's music, life became bearable again. I thought about resurrection again. I thought about redemption again. And that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come, I come.
Ron Whitehead reading from Beaver Dam Rocking Chair Marathon, and we're going to be right back with Ron right after this. And speaking of people who can sing,